Hi friends, seeing you after so long. Well, as you all are aware, the chief principle, motto, and moral of journalism is to find the issues related to mankind and instead of sensationalize it, its principle is to come out with the best possible solutions. That is my journalism. That should be our journalism. Having taken more than 1000 interviews, exclusive interviews, all these years in my career, I am going further to address the issues which are gripping the world. And today, novel coronavirus COVID 19. Well, you all know what is it. I don't need to describe it, the gravity of it. Today, we are with us one of the pioneers of Human Genome Project, a very eminent genetic expert who is working on various diseases to find the responsible proteins for that to eliminate from the roots. Dr. Jayesh Sheth. Dr. Sheth, welcome to our channel. And who would be better than you today to address the issue and the gravity of the situation the world is facing? Sir, the prime question is, what is the RNA and what is the genetic code of novel coronavirus COVID-19?
I would say when we say novel coronavirus or corona or SARS-CoV-2, or we say COVID-19, a different name given. And first thing I would like to say that the coronavirus, say any like as our human body is made up of the outer structure, inner structure. Same way coronavirus also has an outer structure and inner structure. The outer structure also is like a chocolate wrapper. So then the outer structure that protects the viral protein, viral genome inside, and that protection is the spike protein, what we say. What is interesting to know is, the virus is very small. It's just the RNA virus. It is the whole entire the genome of this virus is written in 30,000 letters. And do you know how many letters human has got? We have 3 billion. So this 30,000 letters is fighting with the 3 billion letters, and we don't know, we have not seen the virus yet. But still, I think it has taken the entire world in the grip. Now your question is, what is this RNA virus is? So the virus, which is the outer side coating, and where is protected with the spike protein, those spike protein letters are around the 24 letters. And then inside, the viral genome is hidden, and which is the entire code is written in 30,000 letters. And it is an RNA, since it is an RNA virus, so it is called, the genome is written in the RNA, what we say is RNA, unlike in the human body which is a DNA, but we have our code language written in the DNA. So this RNA, the virus is in the RNA and with the 30,000 letters. And how the virus functions is, through this protein it has a different function. So first function is like outer side, it attaches, because virus itself is not able to do anything. It requires, it's like a parasite, it requires some host cell. So like in the human is the host, or some animal is the host. So when it gets attached to the spike, you have seen the figure of the corona. So the outside there is a very, why it is called a spike. So spike-like structure is there, where it gets fit into the receptors in the human body. And we all know that I think a lot of things have been said that the ACE receptors are there. So when the virus enters in the body, it's through the oropharyngeal or the nasopharyngeal, where the S receptors are there. So this virus, they attach to the S receptors first of all, then wait for some time, and then it start recepting the immune systems. So once he enters the host, then it just hijack the host. And after hijacking the host, it first hijack what it does, it just first of all see the places where the virus is safe, where it can just make some pockets and get multiply, and then it attacks your immune system first. Because when we have any infections in the body, the defense mechanism in the body, the T and B cell lymphocytes. So they become activate, the immune system get activated and then fight out. But these viruses are so smart, unlike any infection. So they try to escape this immune activation. And once they bypass this immune activation, they infect the body. And then we see the leaders. We all know very well.
So, doctor, going by what you said, we would like to know how its viral genome is replicated.
While I said earlier that the viral genome replicated, so it itself is not getting replicated, but once it enters in the host cell, like in the human body, and once it's established there, so then the virus, they have in the 30,000 there are different functions are there. So one part of the viral protein, what it does, it just identifies the immune system, and first is break down the immune system. So then the virus is very safe. So break down the host immune systems, or fight the immune systems, and then it becomes active and get multiply in the host cell itself. So like in the once they enter through the nasal route or through the oral route, they stabilize there after getting attached to the ACE receptors, and once they stabilize there, then they fight with the immune system of the human body, and then they just silent or they destruct the immune systems of the human body. And once they do that, then no one is there. It is like a one-man army. So then there is nothing to prevent. So then they just start multiplying and attacking different organs. Like in the coronavirus, they attack in the lung cell. Mainly they attack with it because it is a respiratory virus. So mainly attack the lung cells. And then we know that it leads to the respiratory distress and then lower the oxygen. And virus also, we don't know the mechanism, how this virus also activates clotting mechanism. So we know the term like D-dimer. Everybody will say, oh, my D-dimer is high. So people get up because whenever the D-dimer goes high, I think many people have died. So they get very low by D-dimer is high. But we don't know why why this virus, how this virus, they increase the D-dimer. I think we still do not know. But yet, that high D-dimer, it again indicates that yes, the clotting mechanism is getting active. And then we have seen some of the biopsies also, like some people have when the kidney biopsy or renal biopsy is done or the cardiac biopsy is done, they say there are some blood clots are there. Then that is the stage where the virus, I think it's very typical way acts on the immune system, and then they activate the clotting mechanism. How they activate these clotting mechanisms, we still do not know. We still do not have any idea. When some people also, it also leads to the strokes also. Some of the cases we have seen that it also enters in the CNS systems and also leads to the stroke. So it is like this virus is very difficult to tackle because it affects sometimes on the skin. Because once it downs to your immune systems, then all other it like what we say in Gujarati, when you are weak, the outer enemy become more powerful. So same way our body become weak, all other enemies become powerful. So then the hijacking one by one systems.
Yes. After the virus playing a havoc for almost a year and a quarter in the whole world, when the world was reopening gradually and a sigh of relief was being felt by the people, there comes the Delta Plus variant.
Yeah, Delta Plus variant, I think recently what we see that the Delta Plus variant, the Delta is really actual Delta variant is also known as the Indian variant, like B1617 and B1617-2 is the Delta Plus variant. So what it does is the Delta Plus variant, this makes the virus more virulent. So how it does that? So what it does in the Delta, particularly with the Delta mutation or the Delta variant, it allows the virus to multiply very fast. And since the virus multiply very fast, they escape the neutralizing antibodies mechanism. So that is how we have seen in the second wave, many people have died very suddenly. Some people just complain of the respiratory distress and then they die. So the Delta variant or Delta Plus variant are more, even Delta Plus is more virulent, so more infectious also. So then infections spread very fast. As I say that the virus, because of this mutation, let me say what is mutation is a change in the relator. Particularly the virus, anybody, like, when you are in distress and then you just try to fight at, up to the last stage, they want to survive. Same way for virus. So more we try to combat the virus, to fight the virus becomes like very strong and then try to get mutate and survive. So they just give the mutations. So one thing is that longer the duration the virus stays with us, more mutations takes place. So some mutations, mutations are just benign or no harm, but like the delta mutation, what the delta variant or delta plus variant, it makes the virus capacity to multiply very fast, and so since the virus gets multiplication very fast, they escape the neutralizing antibodies mechanism, and that is how many of the time you have heard that we have taken the vaccination, but he got the virus and then he died also. There are cases. We know that the famous Dr. Agrawal, the IMA is a very leading personality, the physician in Delhi. He was vaccinated, but still he died also of the COVID. And this, I think, no doubt there are comorbidities are also there, but at the same time, this is a very peculiarity of the mutations that makes the virus more stronger in different ways.
Many of us would like to be enlightened from you, sir. Is it the capacity to multiply faster by the Delta plus virus is more dangerous, or its capacity to hit newer areas is more dangerous?
I would say that the capacity of the virus to multiply more. So then, because when the moment it multiplies, like I say, like my immune system is good, but still if the Delta plus variant affects me, so then because of the capacity to multiply very fast, they will escape the neutralizing antibody in the body. So that is more dangerous.
Okay.
I would say both the things are dangerous.
Yeah.
With the newer system, like we don't know that the new the Delta plus variant, it affects the other organs. As I know, the virus has not changed its overall the pathophysiology. It affects the lungs, it affects the and the rest of the complications are, we can say that they are the byproduct, or they are maybe because of the immune system become weak, so the other organs get problem.
Yes.
You may see the, I would like to just say also, the longer this COVID virus, the corona stays also, and the longer you are immunologically compromised, you may see the cases not only neurological, I think nobody has said, but perhaps you may see the surge of the tuberculosis, because tuberculosis, the TB bacteria, they are acid bacilli, they are resistant, they are dormant. We all of us have a TB. They are see, certain infections are the opportunistic infection, like SCV, CMV, cytomegalovirus infection, hepatitis infection, same way for tuberculosis. So we are not seen yet, but I feel that if I go with the scientific way, the people who are infected with corona or COVID and whose immune system has become very weak, one has to take caution that guard yourself to get exposure or the area where it is very crowded or very the most atmospheres or in the hospital which are not hygienic, because you may harbor the TB, your susceptibility to be increases, your susceptibility to the many of the virus like the cytomegalovirus or the herpes virus, it also increases. I think one has to guard on it. That's very important point.
Sir, as you rightly said, that those who have taken 2 doses of vaccines, even some of them have succumbed to this virus. Now the question is, when the vaccine is being made or the researches are going on, is it made to combat or negate a particular variant, or it could counter every variant?
I would say the vaccines are made in such a way, what vaccines are made is against the spike outer surface protein. So whatever the one or later, say one mutation when say 1 letter or 2 letter changes. So usually the vaccines are, their studies also have been done that even some 1 or 2 variant or the vaccines are equally effective. Yesterday also there is also this research has been come out in USA. Even the Delta plus variant also the vaccines are effective. It may have some less effect, but one thing is sure: if a person is vaccinated, double 2 dose, he got infection, the severity will be much lesser. That is that's very clear. And the effectivity also against the Delta or Delta plus variant will be not equally, but it will be there. So one should not doubt about the vaccination to vaccine which we may have to produce a new vaccines. I think it's very seems to be unlikely at the moment, unless or until we get some new other virus and then some new mechanisms are there. Otherwise, I would say that current available vaccines, they are equally competent and they're good enough to fight any change in the virus, especially till date, even Delta, including Delta and Delta plus variant also.
Dr. Jay Shet, the way novel coronavirus has changed its variants and trails in a year and a quarter so frequently, so fast, it gives a speculation or a thought. Does it have some sort of artificial intelligence in that to sense what is coming in future to hit it and changes its path?
No, I think it's very not artificial intelligence. That you mean to say it is like a man-made?
No, not in that. But the way I would relate to a Hollywood film, Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
When a shark becomes so intelligent that it starts reading the human minds and acts accordingly. So I'm not asking in that term.
Yeah, okay, I got a point. So
naturally, is it so intelligent or kind of intuitive?
All viruses are like intuitive. All virus, not intuitive. Virus, as I said earlier, the virus, the more they stay with the human host, the more they stay with us, and more we try, longer the duration, there are more chances they mutate very fast. So only thing, that is why do we say the contact tracing, the isolation, is only because the more you try to spread, because of the infected, the more it spreads, more it mutates. So that is why you have to fight this virus, you have to work in three different parts. First, you prevent this transmission, because more you prevent the transmission, the more lesser the chances for the virus to get mutated or to get, like what we say, that to get adjusted. Because they know, okay, you have made the gun in this direction and you are changing my protein, so now let me work on this and I will later change my shape or some protein and I will try to survive. So virus also like human being, every animal or humans has some kind of sense. So the virus also has kind of the sense that, okay, this is the situation now coming up for me, so let me change my mode. What the mutation is only that. What we say the Delta or Delta plus variant or the Delta variant or other whatever the variants are there, those variants are mainly because for the virus to survive for a longer time. So that is why it is important to eliminate the virus, not to be eliminated, but to minimize the infection spread.
Okay. There are different variants seen of this virus in different countries. So, does the geographical condition play a role?
It is very hard to say, I think, because we have seen that Delta variant, what we have seen in India, and the same variant also have been seen in the other part in Brazil or in UK also, the same variants are seen also. Yes, but the mutation like what we see in USA or UK or other part of the country, their mutation may be not the same. So depending on what kind of the atmosphere is there, what kind of the medicines you use, how the systems you fight, what the kind of the preventive measures, all environment, the target medicines, and overall the immune systems in that particular population, it plays a role for virus to get changed or to get mutated. So that is why what we see the changes in different countries, different mutation is mainly because of this. Yeah.
Dr. Shet, there has been a subconscious fear gripping over India, especially if we talk, because there are some cases reported of Delta plus variants in India in the last few days. So as you rightly said, friends, as I told you earlier, the chief motive of journalism is to enlighten and alert instead of frightening anybody. We are here to enlighten you, to come out braver with absolute knowledge from the experts like Dr. Sheth, who is a pioneer in human genetics. Dr. Sheth, despite taking 2 doses, what other precautions of personal care one has to take against more proof and sound against the new variants?
That's very important. See, like I have taken 2 vaccines. So that does not mean that I have a freedom to move around freely. Because yes, my immune system is good because I have taken vaccines, the antibodies are there. So even if I get exposure, my immune system will fight out. But suppose I am walking some street and the viruses are there in the air, or somebody has sneezed or something. So obviously the virus enter in the nasal route or through my oral route. And then I go to my office, I am not wearing mask. So the first thing is I get exposure to the virus. And then I go to the office, I do it, and then those viruses are still there. So they may not be active. But again, I sneeze or speak, whatever. So I will infect other people also. Then my chances to increasing, that I will infect other people. Second is, so this is one point, the precaution mask, why it is, even if you are vaccinated, mask is important, not only to protect you, it is to protect the other people. Because you may carry the virus, your body will fight. But then those virus, you go home and you will infect your other spouse or the children also. So same way, second point is, so suppose you are wearing the mask, you are not taking precautions, and then you go to the office, there is always a threshold limit for everything. So your body also has got some threshold to fight out. So if you have a constantly just got exposure, you go to the cinema hall where some people have got this like corona, and then you get exposed, repeatedly get exposure, then obviously your immune system also will become tired. You will fatigue. You will feel fatigue because how long your body will go on fighting. So then you will succumb and you will get tiredness and fatigue, all those things. So that is why mask, sanitization, social distancing, avoid gatherings, it is very important. So forget that if you are vaccinated, you are safe. But to make you more safer, don't forget, you are safe, but you are infecting other people because you get contact the virus through the nasal or the oral route. And second point is, there is a threshold limit. So you constantly get exposure. Then obviously your body will get tired at some stage, and then you will get tired, you will get fatigued, and at some stage you may get contact the infection even also.
Until the last virus from Earth gets eliminated, one has to take
one has to be, I think, not love. Viruses are there, they are going to stay with you,
Sir,
going to go away.
yeah, I was going to ask you, that was coming to my mind while you were explaining this thing. Sir, if we refer to Spanish flu, if we go 100 years back,
1918.
yeah, say the recent past, swine flu and SARS, this is a SARS family virus. When the virus is gone, a particular virus is gone from the world, does it go forever or go to kind of self-isolation, hibernation to collect the strength to strike back after decades?
Very interesting, because if smallpox has gone, if polio virus has gone, why do we take vaccine? Why do we give the vaccines to the polio vaccine?
That is why I asked you the question of artificial intelligence. They are
never go. Virus once they are there, only they remain dormant. They become dormant, and then they become opportunistic. So when this situation arises, or they get the right time or right atmosphere, they become active. So like that, like the kidney, those who are kidney transplantation, when you give the kidney transplantation, you are engrafting the kidneys or the liver transplantation, you are giving the drugs which suppress your immune system. So those are the patients, they get the CMV infection, like the CMV infection or herpes, HSV infection very fast. Why? The reason is because those viruses are there in your body, they remain in the dormant stage or they are in the atmosphere. So that is why the virus doesn't go. Only thing, they remain in a dormant stage for a long time, and then when the situation arises, they will become active. You just stop giving the polio to the children and see that what happens. Look at the smallpox. You stop giving the smallpox vaccine.
To what extent?
Just anthrax has gone. Anthrax, why you know that? Anthrax is the most deadliest most deadliest virus.
Exactly. To what extent there has been an uproar and concern about global warming and greenhouse effect? To what extent do they play the role for the virus to erupt again?
I would say that in an indirect way, it is a very major problem with the global warming. I will give one example. In 2018, we went to Gaumukh. Gaumukh is the place where the from Ganga starts. It is almost about 15,000 feet high above Gangotri, and you see the Gaumukh, very small part of the Gaumukh, and then water coming out from the glaciers. It's almost 30-mile glaciers are there, all glaciers are there. And now we went recently to Tapovan on way to Gaumukh in October 2020, and we see the Gaumukh, the glaciers melted. So what happens? Like we are hearing about the Antarctic, those glaciers are melting. There is a crevasse are there, so they are getting cracks in the glaciers. What it does, the viruses are there in below the glaciers in those, so they are hidden. So you can't imagine that what will happen if those viruses who are remaining in domestic in the cold conditions, if the glaciers melt and those viruses then coming out, what will happen? I think no one knows. No one knows. So that is why it is very important to preserve the atmosphere, to preserve the globe, to preserve the nature. Love trees, love nature. Respect trees, respect nature. We don't do it. I think it's very we need to learn the balance between the development and then also balance with the nature. We only have one target to have a development, but then we forget the nature. I have seen the Himalayas. I think every year I go, I see that we just develop the corridors for the all-season road in Himalayas, and Himalayas mountains are they are kacha, mud mitti. So they get cracked. So like you hit here, the effect may be 10 miles away in the mountain. So those mountains, we are just, I think, disturbing the ecological balance, disturbing the nature's way, like cutting the trees for development. We may plant the one tree may cut, and then we may plant some 10 trees. But do you know how many years it takes to get those 10 trees to grow? So then those years are lost. If you remove one lime tree, you know that it takes 20 years, 30 years, and then you cut one, and then you may have plant 10 more trees. But that will you have sacrificed the 10, 20, 30 years for that. So it has a great impact. The global warming, because of I think the man is a very, what we can say, is crazy for the development. So we have been just insulting the nature every time we dig the earth, get the oil or to the extent, get the water to the extent till it get dry. You just cut the trees for the widening of the roads. All those things, you are disturbing the ecological, and obviously that has a really great role. And I say that the more the glaciers get melt, more your chance to get the exposure to the deadliest virus, and then no one knows how.
Friends, when an ecologist advises to preserve nature, when a nature lover tells you to do so, we people tend to take it for granted and continue the wrath on the nature. But when a genome expert, when a scientist like Dr. Jayesh Sheth engrossed, dissolved in his research to bring we people out of chronic diseases by treating it from the roots, by finding the particular proteins responsible for particular diseases, endorses the view, the relationship between mankind and nature, the perfect ecology, we must follow the recommendations, advices and concern by him. We have to follow it religiously. Dr. Jayesh Sheth, one last question. People are eagerly awaiting to hear something really unique from the scientists, the researchers like you who are into the genetic human genome research for the last 40 years, if I am not wrong.
Yeah.
Say cancer. when it would be possible to eliminate diseases like cancer from the roots, because as I know, very few proteins responsible for particular diseases have been identified, to discard it from the roots, to make the DNA more perfect and to come out the person from it forever.
I would say, you see, like when you say particularly for cancer, for any disease, so yeah, most of the cancer, they maybe the lifestyle is so related to lifestyle, like colon cancer, or some breast cancers, or maybe the uterine cancers, or the prostate cancers, ovarian cancers, mouth cancers. But some are hereditary also. So we cannot eliminate it. But like for example, I would say that there's some families at risk for colon cancer. Some families, and if identified that colon cancer is because of the mutation in particular gene, we can say Lynch syndrome. And then simple lifestyle, like we avoid the non-veg diet, you take lot of fibers, take aspirin, simple aspirin also. I think recently Dr. Hershey has published paper in Lancet along with the, it was a 20-year research by Professor John Byrne and other groups, and they've identified that this cancer is preventable. If the family has got Lynch syndrome and you identify the specific gene responsible for it, and you confirm that this is a Lynch, you give a simple aspirin tablet, your chances to have prevention nearly 50%. It's quite high, and that was published recently in the Lancet journal, and American Society of Cancer Research also has advocated and highlighted this research in the recent conference also. So same way, like somebody has got the oral cancers. Oral cancer, we know that cigarette smoking and the tobacco. So avoid that, because out of 100 people who take tobacco or who take the cigarette or the BD, 30 to 40% have a higher chance to get the cancer, because you are constantly insulting your DNA. You are constantly damaging your DNA. So more damage you have done. I know I have told that is the thing, your body needs to certain threshold. After certain threshold, it gets tired. So then it doesn't get repaired, the automatic repairment. And then the change in the DNA occurs and leads to the cancer.
Friends, Dr. Sheth has done a tremendous research to identify particular proteins responsible for particular diseases in particular communities. I am coming to that. As you are aware, there are certain communities in the world in which a particular disease is prevalent for decades. Say the Lohana and Sindhi communities here, thalassemia minor. So the world requires redesigning. The same way, human genetics also require the redesigning. Would that be possible in coming future to redesign the genes by gene therapy to eliminate those diseases from particular communities?
I think we cannot redesign it. Gene therapy is a different subject. I think it's a different subject altogether, and there are many diseases now. If you may be aware,
I just mentioned that because people are fascinated with this.
There are 7,000 rare diseases globally, and around more than diabetes, nearly 70 million in India. We have 65 to 67 million people with diabetes, and you'll be surprised to know that we have 70 million people in India alone are estimated to have the rare disease. 70 million. So why they call rare means they are maybe in 1 in 2,000 or 1 in 50,000 or 1 in 100,000. So looking at the population, India has got a large population of the rare disease out there. So, and there 85% have a genetic component. So once you identify them, there are some many gene therapies are now getting developed because of the advancement of the technology, thanks to this genetic human genome project, thanks to the advancement of the human genomic research, so that we are able to now identify the coronavirus genome and then develop target the techniques for combat for the vaccine development. We are able to make the vaccine in less than a year. It's thanks to the technology that we could read the genome of the virus so far. So we will be able to change the gene, not completely, but yes, where the defective quality gene is there, the new technique called as the CRISPR-Cas9 that cuts some bad part of the DNA and then make the new part, that is possible. I think it's still evolving. So maybe in the next coming years, 5 years, 10 years, we may see that many of the more disease that getting added to get the treatment for it. But I think I would again, as a scientist, the word of caution that the man purpose is God disposes.
Let us
So
be
the more we try to fight the nature will find out something else. So my message: do not fight with the nature, but understand the nature, and then try to solve the problem rather than fighting with it. Respect the nature, and then try to understand what the hidden treasure of the nature, and then try to solve it rather than just fighting it out.
Fully agreed, sir. What he says is refining the genome sequence rather than kind of toying with or tampering with. That is what I understand. There cannot be a particular race designed to be perfect, because we are humans at risk of follies. As he mentioned Dr. Harsh Sheth's name, let me tell you, there are very rare families in the world which could be termed as the first families of genetic research in particular countries or states. Dr. Jayesh Sheth's family we term here as the first family of genetic research. He himself has been a genetic expert doing research for the last 40 years. His wife, Dr. Freni Sheth, is also doing the same. His son, Dr. Harsh Sheth, is also a genetic expert. And I would tell you, friends, that it's a blessing to have such genetic experts, because the medicines which we take today is to kind of suppress the diseases. What they are doing is to eliminate from the roots in the coming years, and their philanthropic work is awaited by the world. And Dr. Sheth, yeah, you would
I would like to add one more thing, because I know that in 2013, I think we were the first one to publish the vitamin D deficiency. You must have heard the vitamin D supplementation given. First paper we published in the diabetic journal, and we say that the 90% of our urban population has got a vitamin D deficiency, and there are communicated with the government also, with the health ICMR, and said that I think better we try to supplement our food like bread or oil or the milk with vitamin D. Perhaps that will help us. So this is in 2013, and now everyone knows that vitamin D is one of the key components to be given. I think almost everyone now aware of that. Give vitamin D, and simple thing, vitamin D, because as a vegetarian we don't get enough vitamin D from the food except in the fish. So the sun is the best source. So just stay in light, stay in sunlight for 15-20 minutes in a day. I think it's enough dose for vitamin D for that particular time or day.
An expert sees beyond the same.
Thank you.
Dr. Sheth, we are so thankful to you to give us an in-depth view in what Corona is all about, where we are, where we would be, what precautions we would take, and one fine morning we will wake up to feel that we are Corona free due to the research like what they are doing. Dr. Sheth, once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. My pleasure always. Let us hope that we fight out. I'm sure. Yes, I think we will definitely be able to fight out the Corona. We passed the second wave also, because very scary. Third wave also will be there. It's inevitable. I'm sure we'll be able to, because more vaccinations out is there. So more vaccinations, I think that we have better chance. So I'm sure that by August, September, you will see the third wave starting. But I'm very, very optimistic that by next February, March, I think we will win the situations, and that's what I feel, that I hope that happens.
Going by your words, we are not only hopeful, but we are confident that we will be able to attain that stage. Thanks again, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Thank you.